Chavod v'lo yidon. Ksiv likim al domi lach. Perish bezoyer de koy al beginnes malchus shem zameres tomet. Yehoyres ato korito den ori lo v'lo shoch.
Okay.
Shabbos, holy brothers. You know what the greatest challenge today is? That imagine you come home with a whole stack of catalogs, a whole stack of catalogs, and you start looking at catalogs, of different products. And you look at products and you're just flipping through the pages, and there's amazing products. And then you put down one catalog and you go into the next catalog. Now it's a catalog of cars. But it's only one type of cars, and you go to another catalog. And then I remember when we were kids, we used to go to FOA Schwartz. Remember FOA Schwartz? And there was like a thrill of just walking through the store and checking out all the toys, even though nobody even expected to buy anything. But how long could you be in FOA Schwartz? How long could you just go through catalogs of stuff? So yesterday, the Ruv, by the Fabrengen, afterwards, after the Shir, he said that the Chiddushei Rim once heard from Abteruv, Torah. And he said that he lived from this Torah, Chuma Esheriv Shuna, a year and a quarter. He lived from this Torah. And the Ruv said over the Torah, and it was such a non-Torah, he said it over 3 times, and I still, it just went right over. And Chiddushei Rim, he was the ultimate master, the Guan Adar. And Abteruv, everybody knows that the Rebbe Meiler gave him, I think, not the Rebbe Meiler, the Choizer, gave the Abteruv the mouth, the peh. So they were saying that he had the...
The eyes,
and Abteruv got Bakim in the mole. The day was... How does it work that a person could go for a year and a quarter on one Torah? How come today Torahs don't impact us, and even when it does, it hits us? It lasts for a very short while. Today and tomorrow you need a new today. And what happened was that once upon a time there was no information available. You lived in a vacuum, and when you heard a Torah, you took home that one insight, but it wasn't the insight that got you. It was staying in that place, staying in that vacuum of that insight and living with it and experiencing it and feeling it and being there with it. It's like, imagine a person who's in a prison. A person's in a prison cell, and there's nothing there, he's in solitary confinement, and he's there for a month, he's there for 2 months. And then one day somebody brings him a song, one track, one song. And he hears that song. He's in that song. And could you imagine the power, how that song takes him over and he hears it again? And because there's only one song. There's nothing else besides that song. And then you could live with that song for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months. And you can go very deep and travel with that song to places where only a song can take you. The day when record players came out, the day that MP3s came out, that there's a steady stream of music, that's the day we stopped hearing a song. That's the day we started. We live today in a world of catalogs. Catalogs of a limitless amount of information. And we open up catalogs, but not only physical catalogs of items, catalogs of ideas. There's a world of ideas. And there's catalogs of ideas. Like, you go onto the internet. The internet has a limitless amount of ideas, of information. So we open up information, and that information brings us to more information, and a lot of that information is very valuable information, which could take you to amazing experiential places. But we don't give it a chance, because we're already on to the next item that you can buy on that catalog. And then we're on to the next one, and to the next piece of information, the next, and the next, and the next, and the next. And we never took one piece of information and sat with it, and stayed with it for a long time. It's like when the farmer, I told you the story, that farmer who I went by, that when he eats that bread, he bakes his own bread. But he doesn't bake it, he pflanzt an am Feld. He cuts down his wheat himself, he processes it, he lives with it. And when he tastes his bread, he tastes the bread. But when we're eating bread We're eating, we're talking, we're schmeeting, we're all over the place. We have to run. We're looking at our phone while we're eating, while we're listening to somebody. And we never tasted bread. We ate so much food that we never experienced even one time a drop of food. It's like that flower. It's like that flower. You never saw a flower. I mean, yeah, you've seen lots of flowers. And that's what he brings here from the Navi Yeshaya. That what is the Yetzer Hara? We're always busy with Yetzer Hara. Where's the illusion that he says on the Yetzer Hara? Hashela. Where's the illusion that he says on the Yetzer Hara? Yishma ba'aznav b'vava yava v'shavir afaloi. Hashmei loiva omazeh. The Navi says, Hashmei levavam, I'm going to fatten the heart of the people. V'aznav hachbed. Your ears are going to be heavy. Ve'enav heisha, pengira be'enav ba'aznav yishma b'vava yavan. The worst thing that can happen to a person, as it happens to us every single day, is that God gave us ears, but we listen to so many things that we don't hear anything. That is einayim lahem v'lo yiru. We see so many things. We've seen so many links and so many articles and so many clips and so much information and so much inspiration that nothing touches us anymore. And even when it inspires us, it gets heavy. Our ears turn heavy because we hear so much. There's no vacuum anymore. It's filled up. It's filled up. It can't take it in. So the only solution, it's in the whole, that's our reality of the world.
We eat so much because we eat nothing.
We eat so much because we taste nothing, we don't experience anything. So that means we live in a world where we're drowned by information. And what seems to you to be the best thing, it's what happens is like this. Information is enticing because it looks good and it gives us instant pleasure. And then we jump onto that pleasure, but then the pleasure fades away because the pleasure is waiting for you to pay for me. It's like, pay for me, hello, pay, tool. You go into a store and they have samples. Sample tastes really good. The reason why we're giving you a sample is because now we want you to pay for it. So in the world of ideas and information, that information that's being given to you is a sample. And the information is begging you, could you stay with me? You know what staying with me means? It means cut yourself off from the rest of all the other enticing informations out there. It's like a marriage. We have to marry a piece of information in order for it to build a relationship. You have to build a relationship with information or with an idea. You have to go into a steady relationship, which means you can't cheat on the information. That means if you heard a Torah, you can't cheat on the Torah by being busy now with another 1,000 Torahs. If you want to be inspired, you can't cheat on the inspiration by being busy, being inspired from another million things. If you're listening to a track of songs, you're cheating on the song. Because you're just going to get instant pleasure from it, but you're never going to travel down the path of going into a deep world. It's impossible. So that's the avoid of tefillah that Alter Rebbe talks here about, is about creating a vacuum and staying with an idea and a thought for a long, extended period of time. And putting in the shivitz and the work of knowing it's going to be boring and monotonous. And I'm going to stay with this idea, and I'm going to be moise nefesh to kill all other ideas which are coming in. That's the third tassel teva that the Baal Shem Tov talks about. It means you have to find one tzayad, you have to make a teva with boundaries, and anybody else who wants to come in and break through, you kill him. Even if it's the best, most enticing, beautiful piece of information in the world. It's mamash like a marriage. That's why the mushal always is the mushal of the dichra and the nikva. It's mamash a marriage. It's mamash a marriage. A marriage is only going to work when it's you and her and there's nobody else. But you can have somebody who's in a relationship, but then every single other person that comes in, and there's so many other people out there, and they're all good and they're all beautiful, but your relationship is never going to be able to blossom. It's never going to be able to bear fruit. It's never going to be able to continue on. It's never going to be able to develop, because paying for pleasure has to come that I'm going to be ready to pay with boundaries and stick it out in order that I can develop this idea all the way through. And that's why the Chassidic masters, when you hear the stories, they lived with the Torah for half a year. The Ruv was saying that they used to live with the Torah for half a year. They lived with it inside. And during that time, their card was full. There was no place for other information then. Everything was zoned into that one space, one Torah, One tefillah. No, now it's coming out of Shabbos. Now it's out of Shabbos. You know, Shabbos is the biggest art that a Jew can have during the gulistic years. You worked hard. Shabbos. But you know what happens with Shabbos? You know, we filled up our kaila with so much that Shabbos can't pour in. Shabbos just fills over. Because what do we fill it up with? With thoughts, with ideas, with rayonis, with actions, with activities, that we can't taste it. So the first thing Chassidus teaches, like Al Rebbe, Baba Tanya, Ibn Nachman, all the way up to the Baal Shem Tov teach. They teach one idea. You have to clear empty space. What this Buddha does? It's about making an empty space where you could buy one product from the catalog, choose one product, and stay with it. Stay with one product. Comes Shabbos, comes Erev Shabbos. Erev Shabbos is a time to make empty space. Like if you put away your phone 2 hours before Shabbos. And you're going to do one activity then. And you set yourself up. And you said you want to see the you want to prepare the candles, you want to sing a song. But you have to go into one zone, prepare empty space. And then fill that empty space with one idea. And that's tefillah. Tefillah is clearing away a space that you can run with one idea. And the one point that we want to bring home today is that in order to experience anything in life, you have to be ready to be Moishe Nefesh, to kill everything else. You have to be ready to kill other beautiful ideas. Die darfst können hargenen jede andere rein. You darfst gehen bereit zu schießen every other idea that interrupts it and comes in.
It's interesting, that's why Yatzar is successful sometimes, because he comes to you with a Kedusha thing to take away the Kedusha that you're in. The moment of Kedusha that you should be in and living, he comes with something also which is
true.
But that's a Tzasa Yaitza.
That's a Tzasa Yaitza because it's going to stuff your ears up. That you can't listen.
This occupy. This is Chassidim Rishonim Mishoim Shuach Has Koyd Matzvila. To make space and to live in that tefillah and that moment.
Creating space means having a boundary, having a gvil, and being ready to kill anything that comes in, to knock it down. Even if it's the most beautiful, amazing thing, saying, I'm giving up on you now. I'm sorry. I can't go with you. I'm going to stay focused. Today.
Chaim, Shabbos, Shabbos,
Shabbos,
good Shabbos, good Shabbos, Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos.
There was a bottle of basil Hayden, a beautiful bottle of bourbon. So you mean a bissel was gone, but it was getting ungefähr ganzen. Ich will gehen a ganze bottle. Wie ist das?
Sie gehen an Abesmedisch.
Sie gehen an Abesmedisch.
Die nächste, die ist Roll alt Hübsches. Sie lassen nach Bottle ganz. Die nächste, die ist Roll.
Ich will Chivetin. Wie ist der Bottle?
Chivetin auf was?
Auf der Bottle.
Das heißt, Schach.
Sie helps kan zien wat hem.
Die nächste, die klar ist Roll, sie lassen nach Bottle. Und der Schein
Ich will lernen, wartet.
Shabbos,
Shabbos.